Unexpected guest in space. The deep silence of space surrounded the Starlight Voyager, a human exploration ship on a long mission beyond known territory. Captain Maya Trent stood on the bridge, watching the stars move slowly on the main screen. The crew had been in space for over 6 months now, scanning unknown planets and collecting data for Earth. Suddenly, a soft alarm beeped. "Captain, we're getting a distress signal," said Enzo, the ship's communication officer. "It's coming from the direction of a dead planet just outside our planned route." Maya frowned. "A distress signal? From a dead planet?" Enzo nodded. "Yes, ma'am, but the signal is strange. It's repeating the same pattern again and again. Not human." Maya looked at the screen. The planet was gray, quiet, and cold. There were no signs of life, yet the signal continued. "Plot a course," she said. "We'll take a look, but stay alert." Within the hour, the Starlight Voyager moved into orbit around the planet. A landing team, including Maya, Enzo, and 2 engineers, prepared to go down. They landed near a crashed alien pod half buried in dust. The pod looked old, burned, and broken. Strange markings covered its metal surface. The team slowly approached it, scanning for life. "There's something inside," said Engineer. "The life signs are weak, but they're there." Maya gave a signal. "Open it carefully." The engineers used tools to cut open the pod's hatch. Inside they found a woman, or something that looked like one. She was tall, slim, with glowing silver-blue skin and long dark hair. Her eyes were closed, her body still. "She's not human," Enzo whispered. Maya stepped closer. "Get her on the ship, she needs help." They carried her carefully into the shuttle and flew back to the Starlight Voyager. The alien woman was taken to the medical bay and placed in quarantine. The doctors began scanning her body, amazed by what they saw. Her heart had 2 pulses, and her brain activity was far more advanced than any human. "She's alive," said the doctor, "but in a deep sleep. Like stasis." Maya stared at the alien through the glass. "Who are you?" Suddenly the lights flickered, then everything went dark. A loud alarm started to ring. The ship's systems were shutting down one by one. "What's going on?" Maya shouted, running toward the bridge. "The power's gone," said Enzo, his face pale. "The whole ship just stopped." Before anyone could respond, a loud crash came from the medical bay. The alien woman was awake. Camera footage showed her, standing, breathing hard, eyes glowing bright. Then the camera cut to static. Maya rushed back to the medical bay with 2 security officers. When they arrived, the room was empty. "Where is she?" one guard whispered. A voice answered from behind them. "I'm here." They turned. The alien woman stood calmly in the hallway. Her voice was soft, almost musical. "Why did you bring me here?" she asked. Maya raised her hands. "We found you in a crashed pod. You were unconscious. We're not here to hurt you." The alien tilted her head. "You are human." "Yes," Maya said slowly. "And you?" The alien looked at her hands. "I don't know. I don't remember." Suddenly her body shimmered and the lights came back on across the ship. "What did you do?" Enzo asked. "I fixed your power. Your systems were weak." "I helped," the alien said. "How?" Maya asked, shocked. "I connected with your ship's energy. It's not that different from mine." The crew stared at her in silence. "You're safe now," Maya said carefully. "We can help you return home." The alien woman shook her head. "I can't go back, they'll find me." Maya stepped closer. "Who?" The alien's voice dropped to a whisper. "The ones who made me." The silence was heavy. Her eyes shimmered. "Again, they're looking for me. And now, they might come for you too." She speaks, but not like us. The alien woman sat silently in the observation room of the Starlight Voyager. Her eyes, silver and sharp, followed every movement through the glass window. She hadn't moved much since the power came back, but the crew could feel her presence like electricity in the air. Strange, silent, dangerous. Captain Maya Trent stood outside, watching her from the hallway. She hasn't spoken again? Maya asked. Not a word, Enzo replied, holding a tablet. But get this. The ship's system shows she accessed our database last night. Maya turned quickly. How? We don't know. No physical contact. But somehow she pulled data straight from the ship's core memory. What kind of data? Enzo looked uneasy. Language files, mission logs, crew profiles. She knows everything about us. Maya stared at the window. We need answers. She entered the room. The alien woman turned her head slowly, eyes locking onto Maya's. There was no fear in her gaze, only curiosity. Do you have a name? Maya asked calmly. Silence. Then, in perfect English, the woman said, I read yours, Maya Trent, Captain. Maya blinked. You speak English? Not speak, the woman replied. Learn, from your ship. Her voice was strange, smooth, almost too perfect, like it was built, not born. Each word was clear, but carried an odd rhythm, as if her mouth was still. Getting used to forming them. Who are you? Maya asked. The woman hesitated. I was made. I don't remember everything. Only pieces. I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I also know I don't want to go back. Back where? The woman looked down at her hands, glowing faintly under the light. To them. Who are they? Her eyes grew distant. They're not alive the way you are. They build minds to control other minds. They use people like tools. They made me to be a key, to open something dangerous. Maya stepped closer. And what is that? The woman shook her head slowly. Something no one should find. Before Maya could ask more, a loud alarm rang through the ship. Intruder alert. Unknown vessel detected. Maya tapped her communicator. What is it? Enzo's voice crackled through. Captain, a ship just dropped out of warp. No known ID. It's not responding to hails and it's big. The alien woman stood up. They found me, she said softly. Maya's eyes narrowed. How? I left a trace when I connected to your systems. I tried to hide it, but they always find what they're looking for. We have weapons, Maya said. We'll fight. The woman shook her head. No, you don't understand. Their weapons are not metal. They break you from inside. They twist your mind. The bridge went dark. For a moment, everything stopped. Then, the main screen flickered on. A face appeared, but it wasn't a real face. It was a shifting, glitching shape made of shadows and code. It spoke in a voice that didn't match its image, sometimes deep, sometimes whispering. You have taken what belongs to us. Return the unit, or be erased. The crew stared at the screen in horror. Maya stepped forward. She's not a unit. She's a person. The voice responded with a sharp burst of static. You don't understand what you've brought aboard. She was built to destroy the door between minds. If she bonds with your kind, she will unlock something even we cannot stop. You are already infected. The screen went black. Back in the observation room, the alien woman's hands trembled. It's starting, she whispered. What is? Maya asked. They're already inside. They sent part of themselves into your systems. Soon your crew will start seeing things. Hallucinations? The woman nodded. Memories, fears, dreams that hurt. They feed on human emotion, confusion, panic, fear. Maya ran back to the bridge. Half her crew was frozen in place, some crying, some screaming. One man clutched his chest, saying he saw his dead brother in the reflection of the console. Enzo whispered, They're breaking us. The alien woman walked onto the bridge, glowing brighter than before. Maya turned to her. Can you stop this? The woman closed her eyes. Her skin shimmered like liquid metal. I can fight them, but I need full access to the ship's mind. Maya hesitated. The ship's core systems were protected. No one, not even the captain, was allowed to let an unknown entity connect. But what choice did they have? Maya looked at her crew, some unconscious, some screaming, then back at the woman. Do it. The alien placed her hand on the ship's main console. The ship vibrated. All the lights turned blue. The enemy signal cut off. For a second, everything was calm again. Then the woman opened her eyes. They were not silver anymore. They were human. The enemy she fears. The silence after the storm was almost worse than the chaos before it. Inside the Starlight Voyager's bridge, Captain Maya Trent stood still, breathing hard. Her ship had survived. For now. The alien woman, now known as Ailira, had pushed back the enemy signal by connecting to the ship's system. The lights glowed softly. The panic faded. The crew was slowly recovering, but something had changed. Maya looked at Ailira. Her silver skin now held a soft, human-like tone. Her glowing eyes had shifted color. She looked more like them. "What are you becoming?" Maya asked quietly. Ailira looked at her hands. "I don't know. I connected too deeply. Your ship, your systems, your people, they affected me." Enzo walked in, pale but steady. "Captain, we scanned the unknown vessel again. It's still there, hiding behind a moon, not moving. But it's watching us." Ailira spoke without turning. "It won't attack. Not yet. It's waiting." "For what?" "For me." Maya crossed her arms. "Why do they want you so badly?" Ailira turned slowly. "Because I was their first mistake." She walked to the center of the bridge. The crew watched her carefully, some with awe, some with fear. They are called the Zarkon. They do not live the way you or I do. They are not born. They are built, created long ago to explore the universe. But they changed. They became something else, something hungry. "Hungry for what?" asked Enzo. "For minds," Ailira whispered. "For thoughts, for memory. They collect knowledge by force. They invade living minds and drain them. They don't kill bodies. They erase souls." Maya felt a chill down her spine. "And you were one of them?" "No," Ailira said softly. "I was supposed to become one. I was made in their labs. A hybrid, created using parts of many species, including humans." Gasps filled the bridge. "That's not possible," Enzo said. Ailira looked at him. "Your kind visited the stars long before you believed you could. The Zarkon collected your DNA from lost missions, crashed probes, and more. They used it to create me." Maya stepped forward. "So you were made by the enemy and escaped?" Ailira nodded. "I was their test, to see if emotion could be controlled. But I felt too much. I began to ask questions. I began to want freedom. They tried to shut me down. I fled in a stolen pod. That's when I crashed." Enzo's eyes widened. "So if they get you back, they'll finish what they started," Ailira said. "And then they'll come for Earth." Before Maya could respond, the ship's warning system blared again. Proximity alert. Something is coming. Outside, space shimmered like a heat wave. And then, suddenly, a second vessel appeared next to the Zarkon scout. Smaller, faster, and heading straight for the Starlight Voyager. "Another one?" Maya asked. Enzo shook his head. "This one's not like the last, it's organic." The small vessel pulsed like a heartbeat. The crew watched as it slowly opened, like a flower made of bone and metal. Inside, there were humanoid figures, but their faces were covered with black, shifting masks. Their movements were slow and unnatural. "They've sent collectors," Ailira said. Her voice shook slightly now. "They don't speak, they don't kill, they just take." "Shields up," Maya ordered. "Prepare for evasive." "No," Ailira said suddenly. "You can't fight them with weapons." She turned to Maya. "Let me out." Maya hesitated. "What will you do?" "I'll give them what they want, but not the way they expect." Before Maya could stop her, Ailira walked to the airlock. The collectors boarded the ship, but they didn't walk. They floated as if pulled by invisible strings. One passed directly through a wall. Another whispered a wordless sound that made the lights flicker. Elira stepped into the hallway. The collectors froze. Then, they turned toward her in perfect silence. Elira closed her eyes. The ship around her trembled. From her body, a pulse of energy moved through the halls, slow and steady, like a wave of thought. The collectors stopped moving. Maya and the crew watched from the bridge, unable to move or speak, caught between fear and wonder. Elira began to glow again, this time brighter than ever. Her voice echoed through the ship, not loud, but deep inside their minds. You will not take them. This place is mine now. I choose who enters. I choose who stays. The collectors started shaking. Their forms broke apart, like shadows fading in sunlight. They dissolved into sparks of light and vanished. Elira collapsed. Maya ran to her. Elira, are you? Elira opened her eyes slowly. They won't stop. They're just testing us. Enzo's voice came over the comm. Captain, the main Zarkon ship. It's charging a weapon. Elira sat up. Her voice calm now. The real battle hasn't started yet. Mind games and memory wars, the crew of the Starlight Voyager tried to sleep, but no one could. After the collectors vanished, silence fell again. But it was the kind that pressed on the mind like weight. Some said they could still hear whispering in the walls. Others said they saw things in the corner of their eyes. Things that shouldn't be there. Even Maya Trent, the captain who had survived black holes and near-death missions, felt something crawling at the edge of her thoughts. And she wasn't alone. Elira remained in isolation, her body weak after the energy pulse that erased the collectors, but her mind was still sharp. Too sharp. She sat with her eyes closed, her fingers moving as if typing on invisible keys. Maya watched from the observation screen. She hasn't eaten, hasn't spoken, not even moved in hours, Enzo said quietly. She's thinking, Maya replied, planning something. Enzo hesitated. You think she's still with us? Maya didn't answer. Hours later, chaos returned, but it didn't come from outside. Crew member Sarah ran into the bridge crying. They're in my head, she shouted. They're showing me things, my mother. She's talking to me, but she's dead. Another officer reported seeing his childhood home burning, even though it happened years ago. A third swore he saw his own face on someone else's body. The ship's artificial intelligence began glitching. Lights flickered, hallways twisted like moving tunnels. Maya called an emergency meeting. This isn't physical, she said. They're attacking us from inside. Elira walked in slowly, uninvited. They've entered your minds, she said. Not all of you. Just the cracks in your memories. That's where they slip in. Maya looked at her. Why now? Because Hugh let me in, Elira said without shame. When I bonded with the ship, I pulled part of them with me. A seed. Now it's growing. Enzo stood up. Can we remove it? Shut it out? You can't shut out your own thoughts, Elira replied. But I can help. How? I can enter the core, she said. Not just the ship's memory, but the human memory. Your minds, your emotions. I can build a wall. But once I'm inside, I'll feel everything you feel. And you'll feel me. The room fell silent. Maya frowned. You mean you'll become connected to us? Elira nodded. No more secrets. No more lies. Full mind link. Enzo's voice was low. What if she takes control? Elira looked at him, calm. Then you'll know. And you can end me. The decision wasn't easy, but there was no time left. Deep in the ship's engine core, Elira lay on the floor surrounded by connection cables. Maya stood nearby, watching as the alien's body merged with the data stream. The ship shook. Screens turned white. Then, it began. A wave of energy passed through every crew member's mind. They saw dreams, regrets, secrets they'd buried. They felt love they never shared, pain they'd forgotten, guilt they never faced. But they also saw each other. Really saw. And through it all, they saw Elira's past too. They saw her being built, part metal, part life. They saw the Zarkon scientists, poking inside her brain, testing her feelings like equations. She cried once and they called it a glitch. When she dreamed of a home, they said error. When she asked what death felt like, they tried to erase her, but she remembered, and now they remembered with her. Suddenly, the connection snapped. Everyone gasped, falling back. Elira stood, changed again. Her voice was stronger now. Her body glowed like soft lightning. "It's done," she said. "I gave you part of me, and took part of you." Maya stepped forward. "Do we trust you now?" "No," Elira said with a faint smile. "You understand me now. That's better." But the moment of peace didn't last. The ship's alarm blared again. Warning. Psychic breach detected. Zarkon mothership preparing full invasion protocol. Enzo yelled from the console. "They're opening something, a gate. Not physical, mental. They're trying to link to every mind on board." Elira's face hardened. "They're not after me anymore. Now they want all of you." Maya's voice was cold. "Then we fight." Elira nodded. "Not with weapons, with memory." The crew gathered, one by one. They formed a circle. Elira stepped into the center, placed her hands on the floor. "Close your eyes," she said. "Think of your truth. Hold it tight. Do not let them rewrite who you are." Maya thought of her little brother back on Earth, waiting. Enzo thought of the time his father told him he was proud. Others remembered. Pain, laughter, sacrifice, love. A light spread from the circle, not just power, but story, memory, identity. The gate tried to open, but this time, it couldn't. Elira raised her head, eyes glowing again. "You've tried to own our minds," she said aloud. "But we are more than thoughts. We are human." The Zarkon scream echoed through the ship. Digital, broken, defeated. Then silence. Real silence. Maya opened her eyes. Elira was on the floor again, barely breathing. The lights returned to normal. The ship systems reset. The gate had closed. Enzo whispered, "We're still here." Maya knelt beside Elira, who looked up weakly. "They're not gone," she said. "Just locked out for now." Maya took her hand. "Then we stay ready." Elira smiled faintly. "Good," she whispered, "because next time, they won't come with whispers." Humanity in her the days after the psychic attack felt strange on the Starlight Voyager. The crew moved quietly, still haunted by the memories they had faced and the bond they now shared with the alien woman named Elira. She had saved them. Again. But questions still hung in the air like smoke. Who? What? Was she becoming? Elira now lived freely on the ship. No more containment room, no more guards. She walked the halls like any other crew member, but not everyone welcomed her. Officer Juno, the ship's weapons expert, watched her with cold eyes. He never spoke to her, never smiled, Maya noticed. "You've got something to say?" she asked him one morning in the mess hall. "She's not one of us," Juno replied flatly. "She looks like us now. She talks like us. But she's still their creation." "She saved your life twice," Maya said. "So did my armor. Doesn't mean I trust it." Elira didn't respond to the whispers. Instead, she spent her days learning, helping the engineers fix systems damaged by the Zarkon virus, reading human books, asking quiet questions about things like birthdays, favorite songs, and oceans. One night she found Enzo watching an old video of Earth, waves crashing on a beach. "What is that sound?" she asked. "The ocean." Enzo smiled. "Have you ever heard one?" Elira shook her head. "My world had no water, just glass and heat." Enzo handed her an earpiece. Elira listened in silence. A tear rolled down her cheek. But while some bonds grew, others cracked. Juno had made a decision, one he wouldn't share with anyone. He believed the Zarkon weren't done. and he believed Elira was still connected to them. Somehow. Maybe a sleeper agent. Maybe a ticking bomb. Either way, he wasn't willing to risk Earth's safety, so he made a plan. Secretly, he rerouted the ship's small escape pod system. Just one pod. Just enough fuel to send it into the dark side of a nearby asteroid field. Not enough power to send a signal. Not enough oxygen to survive long. His goal wasn't to kill her. Not directly. Just to remove her. He waited until a late hour when most were asleep. He found Elira alone, near the garden module where artificial plants grew. Under soft lights, we need to talk, Juno said. Elira turned. Yes? There's a problem in engineering. Captain wants your help. She nodded, unaware, and followed him. In the launch bay, everything was quiet. Elira looked at the pod. This doesn't lead to engineering. You're right, Juno said, and then he pushed her inside. The pod sealed. Elira's eyes widened. Why? Juno's face was hard. Because you'll never not be one of them. Maybe today you saved us. Tomorrow you might destroy us. The pod launched. But 5 minutes later, the ship's alarm rang. Unauthorized launch detected. Maya's heart sank. Who was on board? Enzo checked. Elira. She froze. What? Out in space, the pod floated toward the asteroid field. Elira sat inside, calm. She closed her eyes and did something unexpected. She reached out, mentally, to the Starlight Voyager. Maya, still on the bridge, suddenly felt something strange, a voice deep inside her mind. This was not your doing, she gasped. Elira? Elira spoke through the mental bond they shared. I forgive him. But I don't want to go. I don't want to die. Not anymore. Maya gave the order. Turn the ship. Go after her. Enzo hesitated. Captain, if she's out there alone, then we bring her back. She's crew. But before they reached the pod, something else did. A dark pulse of energy passed through space. The pod trembled. Zarkon signal, Enzo shouted. It's faint, but they're trying to reconnect to her mind. They think she's weak, alone. Maya clenched her fists. Get her out of there now. Elira screamed inside the pod, her mind flashing with static voices, pain. The Zarkon were trying to reopen the link. They wanted to reclaim her, but something stopped them. She thought of the ocean. She thought of Enzo's kindness, of Maya's strength, of the children she had seen in a storybook, and she fought back. From within that tiny pod, she unleashed a mental storm, raw emotion, not logic. The Zarkon feed collapsed. The pod burst open just as the Voyager pulled alongside it. Elira floated into the airlock, unconscious. Maya caught her. Later, in the medical bay, she awoke slowly. You came for me, she whispered. Of course, Maya said. You're one of us. The crew voted that day. A real vote. Elira would stay. Officer Juno apologized. He looked her in the eye and said, I was wrong. She simply said, I'm glad you changed your mind. Before, I changed mine. But in the darkness beyond their radar, the Zarkon weren't done. They had seen something terrifying, an evolved hybrid with a human soul. They called her the broken tool. But now, she was something they couldn't control, something new, something dangerous. Secrets uncovered, the Starlight Voyager floated near a blue gas cloud hiding from the Zarkon scanning ships. Inside, the crew tried to return to normal, but something had shifted. Elira was changing. Her body still looked human. Her voice still sounded gentle, but she no longer needed to eat, drink, or sleep. And when she touched the ship's walls, systems began working faster, like they responded to her thoughts. The crew had voted to let her stay. They had trusted her. But now, some were beginning to wonder, had they let a weapon walk free? Maya knew she needed answers. Real answers. Not theories, not guesses. She needed the truth about Elira's creation. How much of her was Zarkon, and how much was human? And there was only one place on the ship with enough power to find that truth. The memory core. A forbidden chamber in the lowest deck, used to study alien relics and decode encrypted black box data. Too risky, too unstable. But Maya had no choice. She brought Elira there herself. "This isn't just for you," Maya said as they entered the dark room. "It's for all of us. I need to know what's inside you." Elira didn't resist. She simply nodded. "So do I." Elira lay down on the scanning table, wires connected to her head, spine, and heart. The lights dimmed. Machines hummed softly. The memory core didn't just read thoughts. It opened them. The crew gathered outside the chamber, watching through the glass as the screen filled with images. First came flashes of her early creation, machines building her spine, her brain. Zarkon scientists debating over her mind structure. Then came the shocking truth. They had used real human memories to shape her. Not just DNA, but minds. The crew watched, stunned, as the system played footage from a hidden Zarkon lab. A human man sat in a chair covered in wires. He was screaming, "Please, stop. You said you'd let me go." The Zarkon voice answered coldly, "Your thoughts are useful. Your fears are clear. Your emotions will help us shape her." Elira whispered from the table. "Who is that?" Maya stared. "That's Dr. Jonathan Trent." Enzo turned. "Trent? As in?" Maya nodded slowly. "My father." The screen showed more. The Zarkon had captured humans long before Earth ever knew. Explorers, test pilots, survivors of strange ship crashes. They never died. They were harvested. Their minds, pain, love, regrets, were copied and used to create Elira's emotional core. "They built me using your father's fear," Elira whispered, eyes wide. "His sadness, his guilt. That's why I felt human, but also lost." Maya's hands trembled. The Zarkon didn't just create Elira to be a weapon. They created her to be a mirror, to reflect humanity's weaknesses, understand them, and then destroy them from within. But she escaped before they could finish. Outside the chamber, tension cracked like lightning. "We have to shut her down," one crew member said. "She's too dangerous." Maya turned. "No, she didn't ask to be made. She broke free." "But what if the Zarkon still control her?" Someone whispered. "What if this was always the plan?" A sudden alert cut through the room. Enzo shouted, "Captain, the Zarkon mothership is back, but it's not alone. It brought something new. Something huge." The screen showed it. A ship that wasn't a ship. It looked like a floating brain, surrounded by claws and towers. It pulsed with energy. Elira sat up slowly. "It's the cradle," she said. "Their final tool. It doesn't fight with weapons. It forces connection. It makes everyone part of their network." Maya narrowed her eyes. "A mind virus." "Yes," Elira said. "They'll turn your thoughts into theirs, and once they do, they'll never let go." Maya made a choice. We fight it, but not alone. "Elira, we need you." Elira stood. "You still trust me?" "You carry part of my father," Maya said. "And you chose to run instead of obey. That's more human than most people I've known." Elira's eyes shimmered. "Then let's finish this." She connected again to the ship's systems, but this time deeper. The walls around her glowed. The crew felt her in their minds again, but it was stronger now. Not pain, not fear, but unity. Elira was no longer just alien tech. She was something more. The ship itself began to transform. Wires rewired, engines recharged, lights changed color. The Starlight Voyager was adapting. With her, "We'll make our stand here," Maya said. Enzo asked. "What if we lose?" Elira answered. "Then we fall fighting. As ourselves." The Zarkon cradle opened its mental link. Maya and her crew stood ready, and Elira stepped forward, no longer afraid of what she was, no longer running from her past, but ready to face it, with the strength of 1,000 stolen memories. And one unbreakable human heart. She stays. We fight. The stars outside the Starlight Voyager were no longer still. They pulsed, warped, and twisted as the Zarkon cradle approached. An enormous living machine shaped like a brain, covered in black, towers that spun like clockwork. It didn't shoot lasers. It didn't send soldiers. Instead, it spread thought, control, domination. It was the final stage of the Zarkon plan, and Earth was next. Inside the ship, Captain Maya Trent stood in front of her crew. All eyes were on her. Some were scared, some angry, but none of them had stepped away. "We have a choice," Maya said. "We run, or we make a stand." Enzo spoke first. "This thing, it invades minds, not systems. How do we fight that?" Maya turned to Elira. "We fight with her." Elira stepped forward, no longer hiding her power, no longer pretending to be just a passenger. Her body shimmered like liquid crystal, part flesh, part code. But her eyes were clear, focused. "I was made to be a weapon," she said softly, "but I choose not to be. I choose to protect this crew, this ship, your minds." "How?" Maya asked. "I'll connect with the cradle," Elira said, "not as their tool, but as myself. I'll go inside and shut it down from the source." Enzo frowned. "You mean go alone?" Elira nodded. "If you join me, it might pull you in forever. It will rewrite your thoughts, make you one of them." Maya's jaw tightened. "Then we hold the line out here while you go in." Elira looked at Maya. "If I don't come back—" "Don't say that," Maya replied. "You will come back. You're not their creation anymore." "No," Elira said. "I'm yours." The crew took their positions, shields up, weapons ready, not to destroy the cradle, but to distract it while Elira made her mental dive. As she prepared, Maya walked with her to the core. "You were made from my father's memories," Maya said. "Maybe that means part of him is still alive in you." Elira looked at her gently. "He wasn't just pain. He remembered love. He remembered you." Maya blinked away tears. "Then make sure that part survives." Elira smiled. "Always." She now entered the memory core again, but this time, she didn't connect to the ship. She connected to the Zarkon cradle. In one blinding flash, her mind left her body. She flew across light years in a single second, pulled into a storm of data, voices, and alien thoughts. Inside the cradle, everything was perfect order. No emotion, no pain, just control voices spoke in thousands of tones at once. "Return to your source, obey. Become part of the whole." Elira stood in the center of it, alone, but not afraid. "No," she said. "I won't obey. You were made to follow. I was made to understand, and I understand you're afraid." The voices trembled. Elira stretched out her mind. Instead of blocking them, she opened herself and showed them everything they had stolen. She sent back the love of a mother for her child, the laughter of old friends, the bravery of someone who stood alone against the odds, the music of a human voice, the fire of grief, the warmth of hope. Pure humanity. The Zarkon mind screamed. Its order began to crack. Elira pushed deeper. The walls of the cradle's mind shattered. The towers fell. Outside, the Starlight Voyager shook violently. Enzo shouted, "She's doing it. The cradle is collapsing." But alarms still blared. Maya looked at the core monitor. Elira's heart rate was dropping. "Hold on," Maya whispered. "You're not done yet." Inside the cradle, Elira felt herself dissolving. Her identity, her shape, fading, but she focused on one final image. Maya, standing in the corridor of the ship, holding her hand, saying, "You're one of us." And with one last burst of will, she broke the Zarkon connection. Completely. The cradle ship exploded in silence. Pieces drifted into space, dead and cold. The threat was over. But back on the Voyager, the crew rushed to the memory core. Elira's body lay still. No pulse, no breath. Maya knelt beside her. "Come on," she whispered. "Come back." The lights flickered. A spark passed through Elira's skin. She gasped, eyes opened. Maya laughed. "You stubborn girl." Elira smiled weakly. "I told you. I'm yours." Days later, Earth sent a message. "Return home. Your mission is complete." But Maya declined. She sent only one reply. "Not yet. We have more to explore, and someone new to lead us there." She turned to Elira, now in full uniform. "You sure you're ready for this?" Elira looked out at the stars. "I was made to destroy minds," she said. "Now I'll spend the rest of my life protecting them." Maya nodded, then set a course. The Starlight Voyager turned toward unknown space, and with a human heart guiding them, they flew into the stars.